Uh, I welcome you all again to this channel where we discuss job opportunities, international scholarship, um, interview, postgraduate abroad, and generally how you can proceed and succeed in your career. So basically, what we're discussing now is how you can, um, you know, ask question when you are having an interview, and six suggested questions that you could actually ask while your interview is going on. um, it is actually very disastrous for you to say that you do not have any question when you are presented with that opportunity to ask question at the end of your interview. For most of interview, the very last question most of the time is, do you have any question? So you don't want to say that you do not have any question. I have mentioned this before, but in this video what we are doing is I want to suggest about six or more questions you can actually ask, while when you are asked to also ask a question. The very first one is, how long has this job been open for? So when you ask that question, how long has this job been open for, the rationale and the idea behind it is for you to know if that job has been open for a long time, and people are now just being interviewed for it. So when that happens, it tells you that the recruiter or the organization is not in a hurry to fill that position. I actually have seen some position that have been vacant, and the recruiting advert would state that it will take 6 months before people will be shortlisted for interview and all that. So when you ask that question, you want to be able to know how long you will stay. So and if a job is just being interviewed for within 1 month and you are getting interview or within that month, it simply tells you that that organization is actually very eager to fill that position. It's also, that question will also give you an idea as to how much of interest people have in that job. Because sometimes you would see when the recruiter will say that this job is actually expected to get filled up as an application should. If they have enough application, they will stop the application and call for interview. So that's, it sort of give you an overview of what it is like with that job. Number two is, what is your relationship with your client and how long have they been with you? So if you are getting into an organization, you want to know how that organization is faring. You want to know how much staff strength and client base they've got. This will give you an idea, an overview of what it is like working in that organization. It will give you an idea of what that organization stands for in terms of customer relation, in terms of keeping relationship and all that. So this sort of question would trigger answer that would be able to give you a true picture of how that organization stands. So another question you may ask is, which is number 3, is this position newly created or an existing one? So when you ask that question, there are times that an organization is just stagnant, no improvement, no, or even sometimes they even downsize. because maybe they were doing well before and suddenly something happened. So when you ask that question, you'll be able to get answer that would give you that idea of how much that company is growing or the organization is growing. So in essence, when you ask if that organization is just creating that role or that position, or if it's an existing one, what that will do for you is, if the answer is to be that it's a new one, they will tell you why they are creating that new job, and maybe because of expansion, maybe because they are trying to add new services, new products, or something like that. And if you are being told that it's an existing one, so you want to ask, it sort of give you an idea of who was in that role, and is the person getting promoted, is the person being sacked or something like that. So it gives you an overall idea of what it is like in that organization, and that's one of those things why it's actually a good one to ask that sort of question. Number 4, you can ask, what skills are needed to succeed in this job? So this puts you forward as somebody who is actually interested in succeeding in that role. So you are thinking, you are seeing yourself in that position, and you actually want to succeed, and that's why you are asking questions that will make you to prepare yourself for success on that role. So it makes the recruiter see you as somebody who is genuinely interested in that job. It makes the recruiter see you as somebody who is forward thinking and who is motivated to actually succeed, and this will actually increase your chances of getting that job. Number 5 is, what are the job expectations? So when you ask that question, even though you have the job description, you just make the recruiter or the interviewer to buttress more on the job description, on the role and all that, so, and it sort of keep the conversation going, and so, and that's what you want to do. So you want to ask questions like that. Another question that you may also want to ask, which is number 6, is what would you be expecting for somebody who is getting this job? If I'm to be given this job, what would you expect me to do in the first 30 days of my assumption of duty? I've put out this before, so that sort of question is somebody who is forward thinking, is somebody who is optimistic, so it's a good one. Another question you could ask is, what is the work culture in this organization? That's number 7. So you want to ask, what is the work culture? So they begin to tell you the modus operandi of that organization. They begin to tell you how they operate, and all those things that make that organization unique. And that's just the way it is, and it's actually good because it's going to help project you as somebody who is genuinely interested in that organization. Another question, which is number 8, that you could ask is, you could ask that what is the next step in this recruitment process? So they begin to tell you, okay, so after this, you are the number 7th being interviewed today. We still have 4 other people to be interviewed tomorrow and next and all that, and expect feedback so time, so that's the way you want to put that question. You don't want to say that, oh, when am I going to hear back from you, or so you just put it in such a way that it's a good way to be ask to say that what is the next step in this recruitment process, so these are the ways, these are some of the questions that you could actually ask in your interview, and these questions will put you forward as somebody who is willing to take up the role, and it increases your chances of being hired. I'll stop this here. I hope the content of this video is going to help somebody out there. Do well to click on the like button, click on the share button, and put down your comment in the comment box. Thank you for listening.